والختامي للجائزة الكبرى تونس 2018.
One.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tunis on this third and final day of the Tunis Grand Prix. We're in the nation's capital, Tunis, the largest city of Tunisia. Situated on the Mediterranean Sea Gulf, the city of Tunis extends along the coastal plain and the hills that surround it. At its core lies its amazing ancient Medina, a World Heritage Site. We're going to begin this final block with the first of the bronze medal contest in the under 90 kilo category. This features Rafael Machado of Brazil. He's up against David Clemen of the Czech Republic. And to provide expert analysis throughout this final block, I'm delighted to be sitting alongside former world champion Loretta Cusack-Doyle. Good afternoon, Loretta.
Good afternoon, Sheldon. And here we have the lineup and the statistics to that. No, one head-to-head, Machado leading with those wins. 23 to 23, both the same age, same grade. And just slightly, Machado takes that edge on as far as the statistics are concerned of closer to getting that medal. Well, we'll have to just wait and see. Both have had an outstanding performance today, and rightly so, both deserving that bronze medal, but only one can take it home on this half, and we'll just have to wait and see which one that will be.
The referee in the medal for this one is Yevgeny Raklin of Russia.
You see Machado world junior champion back in 2014, took a silver medal in Zagreb last year.
Machado lost out to Todd Christian in the quarter-final. That's what put him down in this part of the draw. He went into the repechage and had to get past Abderrahman Ben Amadi of Algeria before coming up against David Clemen.
Well, Clemen, 2 European Cup medals under his belt last year. Both looking to try and secure a stronger controlling grip. Nice attack there for Clemen. Good opening attack.
Yeah, through the right arm over the top, was looking for the Makikomi.
Didn't get there, get across deep enough with that for the Makikomi, but no, oh, fantastic. Well, that was all up in the air and thought he'd lost control, but he rescued it halfway through to plant his opponent on his back. And Machado, as you can see, his face is just telling the picture. Very unhappy.
That was perfect execution. He didn't have to wait for something to happen. He created that. He made that happen. Everything that took place in that technique was down to Clemen.
We'll have highlights of that. Oh, look at him. Oh, very emotional young man. Absolutely delighted. And to his European Cup medals goes a bronze medal in this Grand Prix here in Tunis. There's the highlights here. Comes round the back, lifts on the hips, uses the knee to elevate him up a little bit higher and to plant his opponent flat on his back.
When Clemen ducks his head underneath, at that moment he has an unorthodox grip.
Yes.
He needs to attack immediately, and that is what an immediate attack looks like. There was no stopping him from there. Absolutely perfectly planned. He ducked underneath. He didn't have to wait. The arm went around the waist. He began the lift, and that was it. He didn't set anything up. It was immediate, straight in there. Arm underneath, arm around the waist, bang.
The sequence of movements there was really nice. Now here we have the second bronze medal match. Vaughn Tien in the white and Fraser Chamberlain in the blue. Now looking there, no head-to-heads. Wins by Ippon 47-44, world ranking 31. So we've got the advantage there, Vaughn Tien. But both these athletes, like I said in the previous matches, that very strong performances throughout the day. Chamberlain, one of the best performances I've seen so far in his career, and he'll be looking to pick up a medal here today, but Vaughn Tien has always been a very consistent fighter and has picked up medals throughout these Grand Prix. He's no shy athlete as far as getting into the medal positions. Well, Chamberlain starting off very well indeed, very positive command and respect on this mat. We have Dennis Stewart, former Olympic bronze medalist, now one of the GB coaches. Vaughn Tien trying to tidy up the grips and control the pace of this contest. Chamberlain came out very fast and furious there. Definitely wanting, he was up for business. Slightly slowed down a little bit, but the first Shido goes to Vaughn Tien from the Netherlands. Chamberlain controlling the sleeves quite nicely, trying to take them to his advantage. When he gets the grip though, he needs to use it. And they're having the negative grip has cost him a Shido. So now it's equal. Shido apiece. Vaughn Tien breaking off the grip, working the edge there, trying to come over the top. Touches the feet, breaks the balance of Chamberlain. Now Chamberlain in a little bit of trouble down there in the Niwaza. Vaughn Tien trying to look for an opportunity down there.
We were saying earlier on that Noel Vaughn Tien had been off for 8 months,
yes,
and it's shown in some of his actions today, just not as sharp as he has been in the past, and doesn't look anywhere near as threatening.
Chamberlain comes over the top there, but quickly dismissed that grip. Vaughn Tien controlling that now, trying to use it to his advantage. Chamberlain not happy with that. And both another Shido, but this time it goes to Chamberlain, so that's 2. And he'll not want a repeat of the previous match. Throws that arm over, oh, and over the top! Well, he fell to the side. I think it was a Wazari, but yeah, he's downgraded it to a Wazari. It wasn't Ippon. He landed onto the side. A little bit of lost control as he was trying to plant Chamberlain. Chamberlain throwing that arm, and now he's got to be careful because the Sianag is Van Tien's forte there. He likes to come under his opponent. He's got some nice skills. Chamberlain just on the receiving end of one of those. Came over the top, caught the sleeve, fell off the back, but as you can see, good Wazari.
He's lucky to get away with that. They allow the roll over the back. So it must have been considered to be pretty close.
Well, looking at that angle, it looked like the roll was it wasn't rolled onto the back, it was rolled along the side. Still didn't actually turn onto the back. And Chamberlain working in the knee was. He's got the arm. Doesn't have it tight enough though. As you can see, the elbow popping out there. Doesn't have the leverage on the joint. And coming up to the last half a minute of this contest. Now Chamberlain really needs to be up on his feet, or if he's going to have better... Well, there's the turnover. And Van Tien catches him in the Osakomi. Well, sadly for Chamberlain, 5th place is all he can get here today. But Van Tien, a great performance and a wonderful attack there. Took him in. Where he picked up the bronze medal and a place on the podium.
North and end of the Netherlands takes the first. Sorry, that was the second.
The
second of the bronze
medal.
medals in the under 90 kilo category.
And here we have the highlights of that very throw that gave Van Tien the bronze medal. You hear there's some nice turnover, lovely control all the time. As you can see there, Fraser's left arm was trapped underneath him. The block with the leg as he flipped him over there, controlling the left arm. Nicely executed and secured well. Very effective hold down.
We come now to the final of the under 90 kilo category. Todd Christian of Hungary faces Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan. It's Todd in the white judogi, Bozbayev in blue.
Well, Todd, 2 wins under his belt against this opponent, and the world ranking 5 to 16th. So there's a little bit that divides them as far as the world ranking is concerned, and the advantage of Todd knowing that he's defeated his opponent twice.
The referee in the middle for this one is Sharon Landstreet of the United States of America.
Well, here we have the number 1 and number 2 seed of this competition. Well, for me, the better performer of the day has got to be Todd of Hungary. Wonderful display of judo, the Sienagis that he's been putting in there. But there's a yeah. Hey, what a beautiful attack. Stepped across there for the tired Toshi. Oh, well, Todd will be devastated with that. He just
got caught.
Cold completely cold there.
Yeah, I think the other thing with that is Islam Bozbayev's explosion into that froze top. We saw earlier on that he managed really well when he was coming under attack.
It was all about his Kunukata. Bozbayev really wasn't, I didn't think, accelerating at all. He controlled in most of his matches. There was no doubt about it. He looked the stronger opponent and was very calculating in every move that he made. But here, straight out, the Tai Toshi, oh, wallop. He didn't even mess around there. There was no caginess at all with it. There was no sort of, shall I engage or shall I not? There was no doubt in his mind what he went out to do. And it paid off. He hit him before he could blink.
Well, he was into that Tai Toshi position. He gave a little bit of a sweep with that at the end, but to be honest, everything in there.
Yeah. In fact, I think that shoulder was in, the arm was in, like a Marotti, a Siatoshi attempt.
Bit of a mix, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you can't do is argue about that one.
We come to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 78 kilo category. Chloe Dollin of France faces Nogiana Nikiforova of Russia. It's Dollin in the white judogi, Nikiforova in blue.
Well, very little to divide them when you look at the statistics there, other than there's a world ranking position of 76. But based on performance, both of them have done extremely well and have had tough runnings up to this bronze medal. But I think this is one that could be quite open. Nikiforova is one of my favourites for taking the bronze medal, but as we've just seen, it could all go horribly wrong.
The referee in the middle for this one is Ramzi Shamirov of Tajikistan. Not going to get much quicker than the last contest.
Definitely not. Dollin straight in, throws that arm over to the lapel, trying to capture the head and control that. Chin over opponent's arm. Nikiforova down into the knee waza, trying to bury herself and protect position in the ground. As the athletes circle around each other, trying to create an opportunity to get the first grip. Dollin throws that right arm over the top again, chin over her partner's. Oh, there, and you have that. Well, the flying.
Should be Shido for this.
Flying juju.
Yeah. She hasn't caught up with the rules
yet. No, I was just about to say, thought that was a penalty.
There's no,
but yes.
There's no flying juju. I feel really sorry for her because it's absolutely the case that she's just forgotten.
She's forgotten about that.
And she's thrown that in there. The arm was there, available. She came in, and that's no longer allowed.
Dollin, as she was there, stumbling her opponent, Dollin to the ground.
What you can do is you can attempt tomo enagi, miss, and as you go down and the arm's still there, then you can work on the arm.
Yeah,
but you have to have
you
have to have another technique in before you attempt that.
Dollin once more trying to throw that arm there. It's Nikiforova stretching her opponent. As you can see, that arm stretched across her chest, but leaving herself very vulnerable.
Close.
And Dollin drives over into the ground. Now she's got to get past those legs, tying up the upper part of the body. But as you can see, Nikiforova has the arms wrapped around her opponent, waiting for the opportunity to turn, but didn't get that turn that she was hoping for. Dollin secures the osakomi with the kesugatami. And Nikiforova looks like she's completely tied up there and is going nowhere. Well, a Wazari and a Wazari Aseti upon.
Chloe Dollin bounces back from a single loss earlier on to take bronze in the under 78 kilo category. I haven't seen Nikiforova before, or if I have, I can't remember. having seen her. But there's just something about her today that I think maybe the Russians will have something.
Well, she's got potential, and they do produce some fine athletes, and there's real depth within women's judo and men's for that in Russia. So
Chloe Donau, the first of the bronze medal winners in the under 78 kilo category. We're racing through this final block. I think the only thing that's going to slow us down is the medal presentations. Apart from that, if the contests keep going like this, it's only 20 past 4. We've only been going for 20 minutes. We're already one fight away from the final of the under 78. So,
well, we're not complaining at all, because it's been good. Wonderful judo, and there's some highlights of that wonderful judo, as you can see right now on our screen. And this is what I like about Dolan. She still secures that head so nicely. She never forgot about the upper body control. We see this situation happening so many times, that they're so much concentrating on getting that leg out that they forget that a hold down can only be secured if you've got upper body control.
She's in a very, very tough category in France. Audrey Chermio, Madeleine Malonga, Hanasawa Kamara, they're all in there in that weight category, so very tricky.
Yes.
Right, we come now to the second of the bronze medal contests. Klara Apoteka of Slovenia faces Sara Mzugui of Tunisia. It's Apoteka in the white judogi, Mzugui in blue.
Well, again, another two that are very, very close as far as wins and as far as rankings, so it's going to be a tough, well, I would say a tough match, but the way these matches have been going, someone's up for it every time, and it all depends on who comes firing out and all in cylinders here.
The referee in the middle for this one is Frank Dirch of Germany.
Well, the Tunisian athlete is obviously the favourite here for this crowd, and what nicer way to take a medal would be in home turfs. And Mzugui from Tunisia there in the blue. Opateka representing Slovenia, very, very tall athlete indeed. The Tunisian, I think, is forgetting how tall she really is as she tries to clamber up over the head of the Slovenian. She opts for the lapel grip on the left side, a left hand in there, trying to move the Slovenian about, and really that's what she has to do. She can't afford to stand still. The Slovenian's long legs will reach through. And she's got a wonderful Uchimata combination. She uses her feet quite nicely.
Yeah, Loretta is talking about the height difference here, and she's got those long limbs as Apoteka. She should put that to good use.
Well, you would hope so. This is the advantage that she has, those long arms, those legs that will come from nowhere. A real threat for someone who's as small as this Tunisian is. She doesn't want to look passive. Well, the Shido goes to the Slovenian. The crowd are really behind this young lady. Mzugui really working hard out there. She's got that left hand on the lapel. She's trying to block that arm out, but as you can see, those long arms causing her a few problems, making her look very passive. She dropped there under a lot of pressure, and it cost her a Shido. Can't afford to make too many mistakes like that. Now for the Tunisian, she really needs to start moving the Slovenian around. She can't afford to stand static here. Otherwise she looks like she's in control. The Slovenian marches forward to try and get hold of the Tunisian. Opateka trying to look busy and likely on her feet as she bounces a few times there. A right to left stance between both these, left hand handed grip for the Tunisian. Once more, Opateka trying to throw the arm over the top. Tunisian tries to block inside. The Slovenian looking busier at this moment. Busier, not doing too much though. I don't think the referee will be fooled by the little bounces and the tap on the ankle.
Well, he wasn't before, that's why she picked up the first Shido. That bit of movement and everything is not enough. They've got to be genuine attacks.
Well, we're into the last minute now and still no score on the board for either one of these athletes, a Shido apiece. And there you have the crowd just all behind her.
That's our driver, isn't it?
I think it was.
On the right-hand side. He's up there in the crowd giving it plenty.
Well, the head's down. She needs to work from there. She has the advantage. As soon as she can draw the Slovenian's head down closer to her own height, the better. It creates that opportunity. It also creates the frustration for the Slovenian.
Just needs to keep moving here, and she doesn't want to be backed up in that corner either. Needs to turn and get out of there.
Well, this is where it's dangerous. So 5 seconds to go. Tunisian, well, she's got 2 Shidos. Will she pick up the third one? And there we have, yep, both of them a Shido apiece, but the third and final one that quietens this arena. Slovenian Opateka takes the bronze medal back to Slovenia.
Yes, an unfortunate end there, and Mzugwe just not recognising the state of the contest. You know, one more attack at the right time, we would have been into golden score. We would have kept going. But unfortunately, she picked up a third penalty.
Mzugwe just, she was a tough cookie out there. She really did give it her all. Just tactically wasn't as aware as what she should have been. That's the problem. A bit more experience under her belt, we might see a different athlete out there.
We come now to the final of the under 78 kilo category. Karen Stevenson of the Netherlands faces Izumi Maho of Japan. It's Stevenson in the white judogi, Izumi in blue.
Well, the favourite for me here was Stevenson. Again, when you look at the statistics there, 39 wins under her belt, but we don't know too much about the Japanese, so I really don't think we can go on that alone. Izumi has had some good matches along the way to this road to the final, but Stevenson, as you know, with the Masters bronze medal under her belt last year, Hoyhot silver in the Grand Prix, and 5th place in the European Championships also last year. She's always been around there. She's a great contender, and looking at that face as she walks onto the mat, she's up for this.
The referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Sok-hee of the Republic of Korea.
Izumi there looking for the cross grip, trying to control her opponent's left arm, as you can see there. Izumi shows some very good skills in the ashiwazas, the kosotas and the ouchigaris throughout the day. Stevenson picks up the first Shido. Started off a little bit frustrated there as that left hand of hers is taken under control from Izumi. The Uchigari, as I said, nice skill, follows it through into the Niwaza. It was a soft, very soft Wazari, but
if they give it, they haven't. I'm just thinking, you know, got to be able to connect it as one movement.
There, and it looks like it's all over and done with. Again, another quick win in these finals.
Well, as Loretta quite rightly pointed out, the unknown quantity of Izumi was a difficult thing for Stevenson to deal with. She's actually tapped out there. The Tatishio Gitami proving strong enough from her opponent to make her tap out. Didn't think she was going to get out of it, so she decided, okay, I might as well give it up. Izumi Mao of Japan is the gold medalist in the under 78 kilo category. Karen Stevenson of the Netherlands, the number 1 seed at the beginning of, well, the number 1 seed in the competition, has to settle for second place.
You can see the highlights and the victory of Japan.
We are really racing through this final block. We've been just going for just over half an hour, and we're already almost halfway through the afternoon's entertainment.
Well, it has been. The word entertainment is definitely right. We've had some beautiful judo displays here. 6
contests down already. We've got the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 90 kilo category coming up. That will slow us down for a bit. Here's the Tatishio Gitami to finish, and the tap out from Karen Stevenson. Okay, let's take a look then at the medal winners in the under 90 kilo category. The awarding party are already up and on the podium. There they are. And the referees are going to be, the medals are going to be presented by the International Judo Federation competition manager, Dr. Lisa Allen. And the first of the bronze medals goes to Noel van der End of the Netherlands. David Klamert of the Czech Republic picks up his bronze medal. The silver goes to Tot Christian, a big smile on his face as he sees Lisa. And Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan receives his gold medal. The reason that the fighters have such big smiles on their faces when they see Lisa Allen is she's known to all of them. They all know her because she's always at all the weigh-ins. She's attending all the weigh-ins, so every single fighter knows exactly who she is, and she's a stickler for absolute, precision. So if there's anything out of order, you're out. So they're all fairly careful in dealing with Dr. Allen.
That's a clever athlete, though. You don't upset somebody that's controlling the weigh-ins. Weigh-ins is one of the most important parts.
Seotoshi was the winning technique, as correctly identified by Loretta Kusakdor. She knows a thing or two about that.
Definitely.
And now the national anthem of Kazakhstan. Well, with that gold medal, Kazakhstan tops the medal table because it's the first country to take a second gold medal. Up until this point, we'd shared the gold medals between 10 different countries. Kazakhstan, the first country to get two. His teammate took the gold medal yesterday, and that's what puts them on top. We had Jansei Smagolov taking the under 73 kilo category yesterday. Right, we come now to the first of the bronze medals in the under 100 kilo category. Viktor Demyanenko of Kazakhstan faces Lis Buyakub of Algeria. It'll be Demyanenko in the white judogi, Buyakub in blue.
Well, there you have the statistics, 84 in the world ranking to 26, and no head-to-heads. The maturity there, well, there's a slight maturity, but when it comes down to fighting, who can predict what's going to happen next? We've had a couple of surprises here already, and this will be another interesting match coming up shortly.
And the referee in the middle for this one is Kostini Balázs of Hungary.
Demyanenko there coming in the first exchange. Buyakub side skipping there on the edge of the mat. Be very careful. Demyanenko trying to get that arm over the top. For one reason, he just paused there for a split second. Possibly thought the referee had said mate, I'm not quite sure, but a little bit dangerous. Well, that's what he was looking at the referee for, because there was a duck under, and he thought the referee might call the Shido there and then, but I think he should realise that he should let the referee do his job. Concentrate on the fight in hand. Demyanenko coming around the back now. Both of them trying to slip over the top, catch their opponent's arm to control. Neither one of them happy of having their own arms trapped. Left to right stance there.
Demyanenko with a slightly more traditional grip, lapel and sleeve, but you can see Buyakub with that left hand just pushing that sleeve grip down.
Demyanenko now looking for the shimmy waza. It's been quite an interesting match so far, still very open. Like I predicted at the beginning, this is not going to be an easy match for either one of them. Very, very close in styles and ability.
Single Shido against Buyakub. We're inside 2 minutes now.
Buyakub, as you can see, trying to come over the top. Demyanenko now come underneath. Catches the belt, but at the same time, Buyakub coming across with the leg for a forward attack. Oh, the Kosota! Lovely attack there. Thought it was the Wazari, but he just obviously managed to turn to the side, close onto the front. But very, very close in changing the dynamics of this contest.
Well, that's as close as anyone has come to scoring as yet.
So Tony was
that will score. Yeah.
Now the Wazari, and the timing's really good there.
Just took him off to the side. 40 seconds is the disaster time. That I like to look at 40 seconds. If you get scored on in the last 40 seconds, you're in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Very difficult to come back from this because it's all desperation after that. You haven't got time to settle. You've got to work so hard and the clock's ticking away. Buyakub has a single penalty against him. He won't pick up another because, you know, he's going to be the aggressor now.
Yes.
Demyanenko is penalty free with 36 seconds left to go. He's got time on his hands.
Demyanenko, as you see, throws that arm over, but he's got to be clever. He can't afford to make any silly moves here because Buyakub is capable of throwing. Oh, yes!
And that's Wazari Awazeti.
Wazari Setipon, well done.
Beautifully done. And therein lies the dilemma for the fighter who's behind in those last few seconds. The writing's on the wall. You have to open up. Demyanenko's no muppet. He knows what's coming.
Yes.
You know, Buyakub's coming at him. And he's stepping forward. He's coming on to him. That's exactly what Demyanenko wants. Takes full advantage of it, and over he goes.
Yeah. Well, I can say all these matches so far have been very interesting.
Yeah. Viktor Demyanenko of Kazakhstan comes up with a medal. Maybe he was spurred on by his teammate winning in the previous category.
Now, one of my predicted favourites coming up very shortly, Goncalves of Brazil. But there we have some of the highlights of that win.
See, both hands go over to that arm. That's the thing that takes him over, both hands. Previously, one of those would have dropped off and taken the leg over. Now they both go on that shoulder there, both. Yes. They're both wrapped on there.
And it's real, the shoulder and the head movement of their own body is what's given the direction rather than the hand taking on the leg.
Yeah, yeah. Right, nice coming up next, Leonardo Gonçalves of Brazil. He's up against Otto Imala of Switzerland. It's Gonçalves in the white judogi, Imala in blue. Here's Loretta.
Well, Gonçalves was one of my favourites at the top, ranked 48 to 124, but very similar in the other statistics there, as you can see. But based on performance, this young man from Brazil has, as far as I'm concerned, been very impressive indeed. Junior World Championships back in 2015, picked up the silver medal. Someone with great potential for the Brazilian team.
The referee in the middle for this one is Sharon Landstreet of the United States of America. They're keeping her busy, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. Imala from Switzerland has got quite an impressive junior career under his belt. Brazilian there with a couple of Ashiwazas, the Kochigari. Nice start. Imala, the left hand just tucked under his opponent's right, catching the lapel. That elbow bent there, strong and effective. Goncalves there with a Makikomi. Left himself a little bit loose there. Imala trying to counter him on that initial attack. Trying to take him off on his supporting leg. Imala, as you can see, that left hand on the lapel. Seems to be the more controlling grip. He's got the traditional grip there of the sleeve lapel. Chimato, oh, just missed it there. Driving across, looking for the turnover.
Some people are able to react to the Sukeshi offering.
Yes.
Others freeze, and it's in that moment when you freeze, you lose the opportunity. Because by the time that Gonçalves became aware of it, Imala was already going to ground, and the only thing left was the possible push. That wouldn't have given him anything. But whilst he'd missed, he was airborne, and the turn of the hands at that point is all you need. It just wasn't there for Gonçalves. Imala escapes.
And as you can see, Imala there with that left leg, just showing it. Well, he falls to the ground.
What was it? There was something ailed Imala at the moment.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Just went down.
Just
There
dropped.
was no attack or anything.
Just dropped like a stone.
Yeah. Now that he gets to his feet, he picks up a false attack, penalty for a false attack. Well, he did drop.
He did. He looked uncomfortable there. It convinced me. Oh.
No, there's something not
wrong.
right.
There's something wrong. No,
Yeah,
there's
he went,
something
and the
not right.
coaches are up there as well. Yeah,
No, there's something not right.
yeah.
That wasn't a powerful enough attack there.
No.
and
We knew there was something ailing him before, and then Giorgio Vismara stood up and he was waving. Something, I don't know, strained. He must have felt a strain in the leg, and he
Yes.
thought, I'm going to go down here. Went down, had a little bit of a pause and thought, I'm okay, I can manage this. Got back up, and then it went. So whatever it was that was ailing him, he got a warning. He got a warning, and he went down first of all. Took a bit of time to see if he, what he thought was okay. But then the second time he got up, he was giving it a go. There was nothing. There was nothing in the attack
No.
that was dangerous, and he just collapsed. And unfortunately, he's had to limp off. The good news, however, that I can tell you, is that he hasn't had to be carried off.
He's able to walk.
He's walked off pretty much under his own steam. There's someone, with an arm around him, but he's up there on his own. Right, we've got to move on. We've got the final of the under 100 kilo category. Ramzan Masulgenov of Russia faces Benjamin Fletcher of Ireland. It's Masulgenov in the white judogi, Fletcher in blue.
Well, as you can see, Fletcher world ranked 30. Slight advantage on paper, but both gentlemen have had great performances in a build-up to this final here in the under 100 kilograms.
And the referee in the middle for this one is Frank Dirch of Germany. What a thing it would be if Fletcher could do this.
It would be great for him. It really would. It would boost his confidence no end. He's up against a tough opponent though, and but it's one of the best performances from Fletcher I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, Malsugenov has been impressive earlier today. But nice movement, tall for the weight category as well. So maybe slightly awkward for Fletcher, who's not short himself, but Malsugenov is a head taller.
Well, Malsugenov defeated the number 1 seed, Darwish of Egypt.
That was in round 2.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Demyanenko from Kazakhstan, he turned him over. Mala from Switzerland, who you've just seen. Now,
So
there he
there's
is.
he's had some battles along the way, and he's performed extremely well. We'll see Benjamin Fletcher's the number 2 seed coming into this tournament. Lovely Uchimata attempt there. Benjamin just managed to control and stay out of trouble
I have
off
to
the
say,
receiving end.
I think Fletcher's had the harder day. Kostoyev, Randall and Buyakub along the way, they were all tough
They
fights.
were very
so
challenging matches,
yeah.
so he's definitely deserved his place in this final here today in Tunis.
clever work there from Fletcher. The hand went over onto one side. He tried to lift it over, and then it didn't go, and then he took it off and started the grip again. Had he left it there, he would have been penalised. He did the right thing. Unfortunately, hasn't come up with sufficient enough attacks for Mr. Dircher's liking, so he picks up a penalty for passivity.
Comes in there, nice attack. Stumbles his opponent. Kieran Ward there, the coach for Ireland, an Olympian in his own right. The under 65 kilos when that was a weight category. It's going back a few years, isn't it?
You read about it.
Yes, I read about it.
I don't remember it myself. But and this time he does fall foul of having both hands on one side.
He's got the Koichigari there. He's hooked in, but that was so close. He sat him down onto the rear. But he's got Niwaza, and he's got very good Niwaza. So he was straight in the kill there in the ground, but hooking onto the inside, as you can see, that's what rescued him from that sacrifice. Well, a minute and a half remaining. He's got the Makakomi. He's strong on that. We've seen that effective throughout the day. He's also got the Uchimata as well that's worked for him.
He got into a good position there with that Makikomi. Just needs to have, Malsugenov coming onto him for that.
Malsugenov through that arm, and Fletcher once more trying to utilise it. That's two.
A penalty, yeah.
So 2 apiece now. Now they could either go 2 ways. They could go out to win it or go out to try and make his opponent look passive and take the third Shido.
He does have a turnover here.
He's got a lovely
Fletcher.
turnover here, and I wonder if he's just powerful enough, because the Russians are very strong.
In particular, this one,
Oh, he's wide, he's really strong, and he's wiry. He's got that the long limbs that makes them very difficult. They spread their weight so wide.
Just a little bit more movement needed from Fletcher. Don't want Malsugenov
Really-
standing there. That's good.
And he's got the
Yeah.
arm.
Right, from this point
Well,
on now, yeah.
the Russian has to put in some attacks,
Yeah.
because Fletcher has shown a couple there, a couple good strong attacks. So now it's for the Russian to start performing a little bit more now.
And
He's
the
been
other
on the receiving end there.
The other thing that Malsugenov doesn't want to happen now is for them to get involved in that Newaza situation where Fletcher's the aggressor, because he's
Oh,
trained
listen.
now.
He's touched the leg there, and another Makakomi.
Ooh,
Oh,
close.
does he come?
No, he's okay. We've got time here. I think Malsugenov is spent. He's had a look at the clock. In that last minute, he's given it a big go. Fletcher's got to get him back on the ground where he can bring up that turnover. He's not going to stop him again. That's where my money is.
Once again, look, the head, the body language, the head's down. That's got to boost the confidence of Fletcher when he starts seeing that but he can't be too cocky. There he's got the arm over the top, and Fletcher then dives through with no grip. He has to be clever.
He should have stayed upright and left Malsuganov with that over-the-top grip for a little bit longer. Yeah. They'd have penalised him for that.
They've still both got a Shiro apiece. They cannot afford to make silly mistakes like that. Now that Makokomi is there. He's shown it a couple of times. He's got to be careful on the cross grip as well. Malsuganov. Oh, and see, this is the danger.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was okay.
50-50.
Keep threatening him.
Oh, there's the... Yes!
Okay, there you go. A single slip. He didn't have the power to stop him. It was a weak, what we call a soft dip on. But he put himself in a bad position where he couldn't get out, and all it needed was a push down. That's what it turned out to be. It wasn't a beauty.
No.
It was a push down that brought Malsuganov down onto the scoring part of his body. That's Wazari. Didn't have the power to stop him. He'd stopped him for 4 minutes, but that's all that he had in the tank.
Yeah, well, there was well, look at just the body language there, Malsuganov. He's spent, completely spent there, isn't he? The head's down, he can barely get himself off the ground. And Fletcher, as soon as that head come down, Fletcher's confidence started to grow. He knew he had the better of him when it came to how much fuel was left in the tank, how much he could give at the end if it had to go to golden score. He put himself in a couple of sort of rocky areas. He got a little bit too cocky now and again in certain times, but he played that just perfectly, and well done for Fletcher, who takes the gold medal.
Malsuganov had 4 minutes of fight in him. Unfortunately for him, the fight went 4 minutes 47 seconds, and it was Fletcher who came away with the gold.
Well,
first gold medal for Ben Fletcher. He took silver in Cancun in his previous Grand Prix final. This time round,
and the first gold medal for Ireland in a Grand Prix.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Lisa Kearney may have taken one.
Gold medal.
Could be. Could be. Oh, I don't know. But we know that it's Ben's first anyway.
It's
so
definitely Ben's first. But
good contest. Enjoyed that.
It was a really interesting contest for both parties. Both had sort of glimmers of where they could possibly do so well and win, and you could never write either one of them off, which was quite nice. And there's some of the highlights of that contest as he punches the air knowing that he's got that gold medal, and Fletcher will be smiling all the way home.
Now it's the first gold for Ireland, because the Grand Prix medal that Lisa Kearney won was a bronze medal. So, yep. She won 4 gold medals at continental competitions, but it's the first gold for Ireland. Dr. Dweeb is going to present the medals, a long-standing member of the African Judo Union and the IJF Medical Commission as well, General Secretary for a long time. The first of the bronze medals goes to Clara Apoteca of Slovenia and to Chloe Donin of France. Silver medal goes to Karen Stevenson of the Netherlands, but the gold medal goes to Izumi Mao of Japan. What do the Irish say about there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? You're going to know that.
A wee leprechaun sitting there on it.
Is that right now? Right?
It's for sure.
Well, I'm delighted for the Irish. We'll get to that when they do the 100 kilo category medal ceremony. But let's stand now for the national anthem of Japan.
Thank you very much.
Bit of a surprise package, but the Japanese decided to send us, and she walked away
with the
gold medal. Yeah.
Nice.
Right then. Apotheker and Dolan were the bronze medal winners. Stevenson took the silver, but it was Izumi who walks away with the gold and takes it back to wheresoever she came from in Japan. Right, coming up next, the plus 78 kilo category. The first of the bronze medals features Galina Tarasova of Ukraine. She's up against Anzela Gasparian of Russia. It'll be Tarasova in the white judogi, Gasparian in blue.
Well, looking at the statistics there, no head-to-head, 25 to 22, both the same grade. Wins in total 11 to 9, and by Ippon 10 to 8. So when you look at it, 47 to 81 in the world ranking, they're just next door to each other, aren't they? Really, there's nothing that's going to be really that much that's going to shine up in front of the other. So we've just got to see how this one goes.
The referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Suk-hee of the Republic of Korea, and it was a rather unfortunate situation with Gasparian earlier on, where she failed to go through the judogi control. She was a little bit late for getting to the mat. She rushed there. She forgot to go through the judogi control, and what happened was the referee at the time, when she came to the mat, said Hansokamake, but really it should have been Ippon to the other side, and as a result, Gasparian didn't get a direct Hansokamake. Ippon was given against her. That's why she can continue in the competition.
Gasparian, she's had a great day, considering that what's actually happened to her. Her performance up until that, you couldn't fault it, and she was really tipped for getting into that final, wasn't she? Yeah. She was really a strong athlete, but she's a young athlete. She's young and coming through, and I think she's learnt a very very tough lesson there, hasn't she? At Tashkent this year, last year she took a bronze medal, and so she's quite happy of being up in the medals and very confident in this as she comes into this contest.
Speaking of up, she really wants to try and keep her head up if she possibly can. Doesn't want to get pulled down by Tarasova.
Well, there's a big difference in weight here and size, and one thing she's got to do, because she's so small, take that to her advantage of being lighter on her feet. Try and move as much as you possibly can. A heavier opponent.
Tarasova is up there at 146 kilos. Whilst Gasparian is doesn't even tip the 100, well, 99.7. So she's giving away 46 kilos.
It's like going into a contest as a 100 kilo and taking a 48 kilo player with you, isn't it, really? It's a lot of weight to be given away. And the only way they become lighter is by moving the heavier weights. Makes them lighter on their feet, and it doesn't feel like you're hitting something as solid or as heavy. So she has to be clever.
I'd like to see, instead of the Diashi Baraya that she's had a couple of taps at, I'd like to see her with the Kojigari on Tarasova, just unsettling her a little bit.
Yeah, she has to break her balance. She really has to break her down, stumble her slightly, and then hit her with a big one. She has to use her feet clever. She has to try and get one foot in front of the other, so there's a bit of a balance upset.
2.5 minutes left to go. No score is yet. A single Shido against Galina Tarasova of Ukraine. And she's probably the number 3 or 4 heavyweight in Ukraine.
Well, there it is. But she was setting that up. It wasn't as if she just fell into the actual counter there. Tarasova really was preparing. She started to move the Russian and was getting that reaction, so that she put the Russian under a little bit of threat. The threat then made her react, and then she capitalized on it. That was purely set up by the Ukraine.
Yeah, she's not looking to get off that the leg. She's not worried about the leg being hooked in. She's got the top half of the body, and that's making the turn.
And that's where she was set, and she was pulling up in the upper part of the body, getting a reaction, and Gaspiana she reacted, she panicked, and thought, well, I better put something in because it looks like I'm going to go over here, and that's where the setup was for Ukraine. Gasparian really is. She's not playing the right tactics here in this match. She is very static. She needs to move. She needs to make herself look busy and her opponent look passive. And it's the opposite way round at this moment. Tarasova, the arm round the waist. She's clamping her down. Gasparian coming in with the makikomi, but she's hit her statically. She's hit her, it's like hitting a brick wall. You're not going to move it.
Second penalty picked up by Tarasova. She's skating on thin ice here.
No,
Careful.
I'm surprised that she has accumulated them, I must admit, because I think she's been tactically doing she's been trying to get the reaction from Gasparian, and there's a drop. She moves the Russian. Gasparian is actually attacked, but she's actually attacked under pressure. It hasn't been initiated at all. It's always on a second reaction.
Well, if she could just hear our commentary, we'd be telling her to keep moving, and keep the attacks up. You've got 30-odd seconds left to go. You could do this, or almost the counter back there.
Almost. She did well to rescue there, definitely.
Well, she's got to stay upright now. Can't afford to get involved in groundwork because there's not long enough.
Oh, she's back stepping there. Well, Tarasova really needs to put in an attack. She's pulled down, but she can't just use the upper body control. She has to look as if she's engaging into attack. And there it is.
Yeah,
that it's all done and dusted. And there she had an ippon. And Tarasova, and rightly so, a well-deserving bronze medal goes to the Ukraine.
You have to be able to bring to the weight category the type of tactics that suit that weight division. And Gasparian hasn't been able to work that out yet.
No.
Tarasova was in control of that contest. I was also surprised that she gave up 2 penalties because overall she was really the only one who was working. She had the positive score in there. It could very well be that if we looked at, the exact rules, that she would infringe them. But there's also a little bit of a feel for the contest. Tarasova was the one who was the aggressor. She was more active.
I thought that as well. That's what I took out of this contest. But the right person won the medal, and that's the most important thing. But it was so close. She was under a lot of pressure there. So full credit to her. She was able to maintain that lead, and without getting too flustered or putting herself in a position of making a silly error that would have cost her. And she's blown us all a wee kiss. What a lovely wee thing.
And in the end came up with a second score.
Yes. Well, the next one coming up will be a crowd pleaser.
They hope.
They hope. Czech Rahu.
Well, I don't want to put any pressure on Nihal Chekrahu, but you are now your country's only hope of a medal.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's all on you, girl. Oh. Well, looking at the competition pre-video that we saw earlier on, she does look a tough cookie, doesn't she? My money's on her, just seeing the introduction of the competition video that we saw a bit earlier on, the Gladiator.
Coming up next will be the gladiator Nihel Čekrahu. She faces Anna Maria Valencek of Slovenia. It'll be Čekrahu in the white judogi, Valencek in blue.
And here's the statistics, no head-to-head. Čekrahu, 31, slightly mature than her opponent. The world ranking there, as you see, 41 to 26. Valencek a little bit further up that ladder. Wins by a point 63. Well, she's capable. We're saying that she's a good thrower, she's a good finisher, and but can she finish? And the crowd just erupting there.
The referee in the middle for this one is Hanna Safarikova of the Czech Republic. There's a look at Anna Maria Valencek, and there is the warrior Nihel Čekrahu. We say that because we saw her in a video on the big screen in the venue earlier on when she was in like the Colosseum.
It was like the Colosseum
in Tunis. There is one here.
Yeah. So yeah, well, and they were throwing on what looked to be concrete or sand or something.
Concrete. They're hard.
Hard, very hard.
And Faisal Jabala were in that video.
Valencek stumbled a bit but controlled that nicely, now looking for an opportunity in the Niwaza. Like we say, for Tunisia, this is their last hope for a medal here. Valencek in Tashkent last year took the gold medal. She also picked up a gold medal in the Paris Grand Slam 2014. In my records, maybe don't think I've made that up, but we can double check. Check the World Championships.
If she did, she'd picked it up in a different weight category. Because she didn't start fighting at the plus 78 until after Rio.
Yeah, just when I googled, that's what was coming up. And maybe it was another.
No, she did, but it was in the weight below.
Well, 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, coming up to the halfway mark. No scores, but as you can see, no Shidos either. So both these athletes are really giving. Oh, the Makakomi and the crowd are just erupting here. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. Tunisia wants desperately that medal to stay here in Tunis. First Shido now has gone to Slovenia. Valencek now starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Tries to bring that on. This is Sianagi once more attempt. Valencek, as she came over the top there, she's got to be careful. Those Sianagis can be lethal, and we've seen them being demonstrated just here today. Valencek trying to draw her opponent onto her, trying desperately to break unlike the last match that we saw, she's trying to break her opponent up, trying to make her lighter on her feet so she can hit her on the move. Because she knows by hitting a solid static in a static position, it's just too hard. Well, there's a Judo, Valensek picking up the second one.
Well, she hasn't done a great deal, Anna Maria. Yeah, so quite rightly so, picking up the second penalty.
Well, Valensek really needs to move her, but that's a Shido apiece. So that should be a Shido apiece, which would mean the hand Sokyumaki. No, but Valensek battling away, trying to get past the defences of Czechruhu. She comes over the top. Well, this is looking busy now. She's looking in business. Oh, yes! Rosari, but then the arm, she got the arm lock. That's the thing, the leg comes over. Valensek looking for the Jujikatami. All she's got is 8 seconds to hang on. As the clock ticks away nicely. Looks closer to that bronze medal staying here in Tunisia. And the crowd know it as well. Well, all she has to do is keep her distance. She's only got one Shido on the board. She can afford that. And that bronze medal, to the delight of this crowd, goes to Czechruhu.
Well, it may only be one medal for Tunisia, but it's enough.
Well, it was the poster girl, wasn't it, really, that brought the medal back home.
Crowd are happy with that. There'll be some celebrating in Tunis tonight.
Brilliant. Well, to be honest, I'm delighted for her. Delighted for Tunisia as well. They were so desperate over these 3 days, looked for a medal. It was so close at times and then just disappeared their hopes. But today, they've delivered.
Doesn't quite get the right leg outside for the Makikomi. It actually ends up going inside here, but there's enough of the arm that she's got to pull it through.
Yeah. As you say at the beginning there, she ruffled her feathers a little bit, she unsettled her, then hit her. And it was enough to make her stumble and fall for a Wazari. Well, like you say, there's going to be a lot of celebrating going on. But now we've still got the final. It feels like we're all over and done with now. We're all spent. But here's the final.
And it's the Belarusian, the number 1 seed, Marina Slutskaya, to face Beatrice Souza of Brazil. It'll be Slutskaya in the white judogi, Souza in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one is Gostini Balash.
Well, number 1 and number 2 seed in this competition. In the plus 78s, and the number 1 and number 2 are now in the final. Slutskaya, the European champion last year, Tbilisi, a gold medal in the Grand Prix. Souza took the gold medal in Cancun last year, along with, in 2016, a bronze in Zagreb. So he's quite a young athlete, up and coming. Plenty of years in front of her. Poor drop there from Slutskia. Not something you would expect from such an experienced fighter like the Belarusian. Slutskaya ranked number 8 in the world. So there's 12. Not many points between them. Souza coming over the top. She tries to dig in. Oh, nicely dismissed there from Slutskaya.
Good hands.
Didn't secure the hold down there, but nevertheless reacted very well. She came over there, pushed on that shoulder, pure upper body control, rotated her own body to get that direction, and taking the Wazari. So 2 minutes coming up to halfway through this contest. Slutskaya in the lead for Belarusia.
It wasn't a bad effort from Souza. Threatened the Belarusian with that little Osodagari, but Slutskaya managing to step off. Inside the last 2 minutes then, so half the contest gone, minute 40 odd left to go. Slutskaya leading by Wazari.
Dropped Sianagi there from Slutskaya. We saw that earlier on. It's a little bit better than the first attempt, but it's not one that I'd like to see her do very often, and she'll start picking up the penalties, especially if she goes on a little bit further. She'll start to get tired. She seems to be falling around on her here, and Slutskaya, she's not careful, will start accumulating the shidos. Well, that's a better attempt.
Time ticking away now. We're into the last minute. Slutskaya picks up the penalty for that overly defensive grip. Got a very strong grip on the sleeve and just pushed it down. Didn't use it positively.
Well, Souza, even though she's into the last minute and she's down, a Wazari doesn't seem to have any energy left to go into the second gear or even third, and she really needed to start
Tapped out.
sharpen it up, but there's a
Shimiwaza.
And Slutskaya takes the gold medal.
Yeah, she was underneath the chin very, very quickly. Tightened that up, trapped the leg, and as she turned the screw, Souza couldn't get out of it and had to tap out in the end. So Marina Slutskaya of Belarus takes the gold medal in the plus 78 kilo category.
This is second gold medal for Marina Slutskaya in the Grand Prix
have a look at some of the highlights as we just tell you that 11 countries have taken gold medals here.
11 medals.
11 different countries taking gold medals. We've had 12
That's
so
really
far.
good though, isn't it? That's excellent.
Well, we've had 13 finals now with that one. 13 finals with that one, and 12 different countries.
And
They've taken gold
Kazakhstan
medal.
leading.
With 2, they've taken 2. So that gives us our 13. We've got one more to come. And it can either go to Ukraine,
which
who
would put
medalled on the first day with Daria Biladid in the under 48 kilo category, or to Iran, who have not picked up a gold medal as yet. So we could end up with 13 countries. We've got 12 at the moment. We could end up with 13. We've got the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 100 kilo category. Neil Adams, former world champion, double Olympic silver medalist, and now a refereeing supervisor with the International Judo Federation and a commentator from time to time with us. He's presenting the medals, and the first of the medals goes to Leonardo Gonçalves of Brazil. The second of the bronze medals goes to Victor Demyanenko of Kazakhstan. Silver goes to Ramazan Malsugenov of Russia. But the gold medal goes to Benjamin Fletcher
brilliant.
of Ireland.
Well, Neil will be delighted to be able to have that one out.
Can you imagine Megan and all her family at home jumping up and down now
Oh,
and celebrating?
There'll be a few Guinnesses out there now,
Party time, yeah.
definitely. They'll be having an early St. Patrick's Day.
Yep. Unable to block that counter. Malsugenov, and now the national anthem of Ireland.
Oh, my mother would be proud of this one. How many times have you heard that?
Just the once. It's a first for me.
Yep.
Well, at a judo event it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonçalves and Demyanenko were the bronze medalist. Malsugenov took the silver. Ben Fletcher of Ireland walked away with the gold medal in the under 100 kilo category. Got one more weight category to bring you now. That's the plus 100 kilo category. And the first of the bronze medals features Ruslan Shakbazov of Russia. He's up against Vlado Simeonescu of Romania. It's Shakbazov in the white judogi, Simeonescu in blue.
Well, again, when you look at all the statistics there, not much difference within the age and grade and also the world ranking, but performance-wise, Simeonescu is a good performer, hasn't he? And he has had a good day.
The referee in the middle for this one, sorry, is Ramzi Shamirov of Tajikistan, the Reta.
Well, I think this might be that the size
Size matters.
matters, yes.
Well, he's not backward as far as size is concerned. Shakbazov, he's up there as well. I could check
Be
to
interesting to
see.
see what the difference in weight.
Yeah.
No, you're right. There's not much between them. Shakbazov, as he approaches the mat there now. Yeah, there's not much between these two guys.
Shakbazov weighed in at 134 kilos. Simunescu at 165.
Oh, right, well, there is a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, yeah. I think Tarasova was heavier than Shakbazov.
Really?
Yeah. She's up
She was,
146,
yeah, she was
wasn't she?
46,
Yeah.
yes. So she was.
Yeah, lightweight.
My money was on the women, definitely.
Looking to go over on the left side, Shakbazov. You can see that from the shape that he's taking. He's got the left arm up and around the collar, but the
I
referee's
don't know
seen
whether he
something.
really wants to come across him, to be honest. I think that would be playing into that counter that we've seen a few times from Simunescu. I think he would play it safe by using his feet. Oh,
Untidy looking entry
that
there
looked
from
awful, to be
Simunescu,
honest.
yeah.
It wasn't one of the prettiest throws that we've seen today, but Shakbazov there trying to get the leg out, and no sooner he does, and Simunescu was there waiting. Simunescu once more advancing, throws that arm over the top, gets a little bit more agile there, but still landed on his back, didn't really get the rotation, lost the grip that he entered in with. Needs to secure that a little bit more, otherwise do that one too many times and find himself on the receiving end in Niwaza. Shakbazov looking for the Osotagari there, putting his shoulder behind. Well, they're tying each other up here, and both really looking a little bit untidy at the moment. Simunescu, as you can see, that left hand high over the top, deep into the back. Both, if they're not careful, will pick up another Shido quite shortly. The grip that Simunescu has got is quite solid on both left and right. He's well balanced there.
Who's brave enough to go for it?
Well, that's what it's down to. Who's gutsy enough here, isn't it, really? And it's going to have to take a bit of bravery for either one of them to move. I think there should be a Shido apiece there, and it is. One more would be the hand Sokumaki. It's not something we'd like to see in the final block. Oh, gosh, well, that was a little misjudged there. Referee lets that one go, but no, he doesn't. Possibly not. I think that was the final straw for Yep, there you go. That cost him dearly.
A very unfortunate end there, Simeonescu, not able to come up with the kind of performance that he had earlier in the day.
Exactly.
Shakbazov able to just coast, if you like, into that bronze, in picking up that bronze medal. Just got lucky.
Yeah. Well, a little bit disappointed there, but what you can say about it, they were both very, very similar in the way they approached that contest. Neither one of them was going to sort of shine out in front of the other, and it was down to who made the errors, and there was the error. He attempted to throw without a grip and paid the final penalty for it.
Yeah, there's nothing going on there. He can't bellyache about that one. He already picked up 2 penalties, and to offer that up as an attack was pretty poor. Right, we've got the second of the bronze medals coming up now. It's Tamerlan Bashayev of Russia to face Sato Kauza of Japan. It's Bashayev in the white judogi, Sato in blue. I almost had Sato in the final earlier.
Yes,
my
you did.
mistake.
I thought I was having a senior moment. I thought, I'm sure he lost.
The referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Suk-hee of the Republic of Korea. Yes, Loretta.
Well, Bashayev, as we can see, there was a few statistics there for him, but that's not to say here we have Sato, and like a few of the Japanese team, there was very little to go on. But I don't think that for 1 minute with Sato being in the bronze medal final has not had any matches or at least any wins. So
another one of the university group representing Japan here. So it's a first outing for them, but by no means beginners.
no, definitely not. He's performed very well, Sato. Well, the Russian team today have had some good performances, haven't they? They've shone out a little bit more in these weight categories. Well, both of them pick up the first Shido in the first 30 seconds or so in this contest. Not a great start for either one of the athletes. Sianagi attempt there from the Russian. Not there with further action from Sato. Very famous Japanese name, isn't it? For judo anyway. Well, Sato in the semi-final looked very, very flat against Godirenko. In fact, picked up 3 Shidos to be awarded a Hansokumaki, so he started to deteriorate as the end of the days come on rather than accelerate in confidence. It's now starting to look very, very flat.
Could also be that the degree of difficulty of the competitor that he's had to face as he's gone on during the day has been something that he hasn't been able to get used to, because it's his first outing out of Japan. Maybe he hasn't come across this kind of competitive element before. It's just taking him a little bit longer to get used to it. Ooh, almost got caught.
He's had a tough run up to where the semi-final. He defeated the number 1 seed, Czaba, and Shakbazov of Russia. He defeated him to get into the semi-final, and then lost to Godirenko.
Yeah, so it can't have anything to do with the styles, because he's beaten both European and non-European fighters. So it can't be that.
Most probably, like you say, the sort of the amount of strong competitors he's had throughout the day has tired him quite a lot, and has depleted his energy, because he did look flat in the semi-final, and he's definitely not looking sharp here in this bronze medal match.
Well, it's another Eastern European that he's up against. He lost out to Gordienko in the semi-final, and now in this bronze medal contest he's up against Bashaev.
Bashaev is putting a lot of work in there. He's trying to take a bit more control and seems to be up on attack so far. Sato trying to chase him a little bit, hold of him.
In the meantime, we're just, there you go.
I know they're slow, but they weren't that slow, I can assure you. Well, 17 seconds remaining in this contest. Sato picks up his second Shido. As we know, one more would disqualify him. Don't think we'll get to that in this part of the contest. It looks like it will go to golden score. And there's a lovely drop there, Ashaev.
Well,
nice finish.
This is his 5th contest, Sato, and he's up to 9 Shidos in his 5 contests, which is very, very unusual for a Japanese fighter. It shows a fair degree of untidiness in some area, whether they are, passivity or false attack or gripping, whatever it is. He's collected, 9 Shidos, a total so far.
Oh, lovely Ouchigari. Oh, he was so close there. Well, I think...
Not for me. He comes on his side, on the back side a little bit. And I mean, we've only seen it the once.
Well, there you have it, the third and final.
Penalty, yeah.
And a disqualification, the second one on the road.
Yeah.
Two contests on the road to Hans Sokomakis.
5 contests, 5 contests, 10 penalties.
Well, they'll be looking at that, and they'll give him something to work on when he goes home. Sheev takes the bronze medal for Russia, and now we come to the last.
Well, you said that the Russians would take both the bronze medals.
And they did. I love it when I'm right.
Let's have a look at the highlights of this one, and then we'll be back with the final.
And my top favourite was Godorenko.
The final of the plus 100 kilo category. Alexander Gordienko of Ukraine faces Javad Majub of Iran. It'll be Gordienko in the white judogi, Majub in blue.
Well, Godorenko lower on the world ranking, slightly maturer than his opponent, never had a head-to-head, grades very similar, and the wins, well, it doesn't go in the favour of Godorenko, but definitely on performance he's impressed me. And but there's a few that's impressed me and they've let me down at the last minute, just typical of these men. But well, let's see if he can pull his one out of the bag.
The referee in the middle for this one is Yevgeny Raklin of Russia. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you've been let down by men.
You build me up and then you let me go, and that's such a sad thing. So roller coaster of emotions here in this event over the 3 days. But Godorenko, I know you can do it, son.
Just strolls to the mat. Look how nonchalant he is. He's just,
I just love him.
Oh well, Majub may wake him up.
It's those long legs sometimes that just when they get in, Uchimata's there, and when he can connect with it, it's a lovely technique to see. Mahajab from Iran. Very strong performance. today.
I'll be surprised if Gordienko takes it, to be honest.
Really?
Majuba's looked very, very good.
Well, he's had some tough matches, and he defeated.
Yep. Osai Komi, just the arm. He's only got the arm. He's got to really,
out.
That's a very, very difficult one to complete.
Wasn't writing him off yet.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
It wasn't long enough to.
He just seems
come
a
up with the
little
score.
bit laid back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The arms are down
Yeah.
and he's sort of strutting around, and you just want him to start firing, because when he does, he's really impressive. The arm over the top there. He's coming in with the Uchimata. Cross grip, but he needs to use it. He's hanging on to it. He's got to be careful there. Well, Gordienko does send out the wrong signals at times, and so if he's disengaged in the contest, it drops, oh goodness.
Not sure what he was kicking the legs at. It looks as though he'd hurt himself, but he was trapped the arm.
I think the arm was trapped under his leg. I
Yeah.
don't think that was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
comfortable for him, and I don't think he really wanted him to move any further than where he was at that time, in case he took his arm with him. And that cross grip there, as you see, left round the back. Whoa!
Danger.
There's the danger. Gordienko starting to shine a little bit, even if it is for a split second. She shows how dangerous he can be. He does look tired. The hands down by the side as if he's strutting into the corner, as if he can't be bothered, but you don't get to a final and not be bothered. He pulled it out of the bag in the semi-final to get into this position. There's the drops in again. Oh, and how he saved himself on that one, I'll never know. Mahajab there. Coach giving him a lot of support, encouragement. Comes in with those legs, he can hook in with the Ouchigari and then switches it to the Uchimata. But he's getting pushed off the edge. He'll pick up another Shida. I'm surprised he hasn't got another one already, Gordienko. He's got it right now.
You jinxed him.
I've just jinxed him. You'd think I was sort of supporting him. I think I'm a bad penny for him. Got the double lapel. He's got the and he's got the Uchimata. He's got it.
Close.
So close. Come on.
Odd, because we've been looking at number 1 and number 2 seeds getting into the final. Neither of these
Neither
two
of
were
those
seeded.
two are seeded.
And they've been the most entertaining all day.
Yeah. Gosh. 40 seconds remaining before we go into golden score, but there is two. Yes! So close.
Yeah.
He's starting to come alive again. He is breathing. That's what we want to know. He's still there. He's still ticking. That heart's still pumping. Hooks in. It's when he gets those legs in, those long legs, the reach. He drives off the back leg. He becomes so dangerous. Whether that's if they'll give that as a...
See, this is one of those situations where if the referee says Wazari, I go with it. I'm okay. I'm not taking that back. If he says no, Wazari, I have to have something that's so powerful to overturn it.
Yes, yes, yes!
Nice combination there. Just couldn't finish with the Kochi on the way down.
Oh, 14 seconds to go. But he's got two Shidos. He cannot afford
He
to
won't
just...
make an error now. He
Can't
just
afford
attacked
to
with
make an
Uchimata there, so you know his method of working is not to go backwards here. Most people would be just running, but he was the one who came in
There
with the
again.
attack. He attacks again. down onto his knee, but he was under attack. He was under pressure, so that's okay.
He's just getting frustrated, that's all. He can't win, and he's just getting upset.
That's gone now.
I love it when I'm right.
Gordienko takes that one.
Excellent.
It wasn't a classic. It wasn't a classic.
Wasn't classic. Definitely agree with you there, but you know
there were
what?
things to enjoy in there. The spirit of Gordienko, the fact that he came up with a score, he came up with some good, strong attacks. He looked a little bit, hey, I'm not really bothered, you know, take it or leave it. But he came out there, he got the score on the board. Machado couldn't get it back. He put him under a reasonable amount of pressure. In the end, however, the Ukrainian did enough.
He did enough, definitely. He definitely wasn't the light and soul of the party, was he, when he came out? He looked like
he's still walking off just hands on hips.
Just another good job at the office.
Yeah.
Well, he got the result. The gold medal goes, and he's, look at him, he's absolutely pooped there as he comes out. Brilliant. I should have put the lottery on.
Well, we've got some highlights from this one. We've got 2 awarding ceremonies to come, and we've also got a little highlights clip that we're going to bring you. So don't go anywhere yet. We've got a little bit more of the show to bring you. Stay with us. Right, we come to the awarding ceremony for women in the plus 78 kilo category. The medals are being presented by Sanda Chicha, the president of the Tunisian Judo Federation and vice president of the African Judo Union. Nihil Chigrahu picks up her bronze medal. The second of bronze medals goes to Galina Tarasova of Ukraine. The silver goes to Beatrice Souza of Brazil. The gold medal goes to Marina Slutskaya of Belarus. And now the national anthem of Belarus.
Thank you very much. Family picture, Peace and Judoka.
The Olympic qualification period begins in earnest in May. Between now and then, what we've got is a period of a little bit like we saw today. It looks serious, but the battle hasn't really commenced, and it will in May, when all the points scored will count for qualification. At the moment, the points scored count towards the IGF World Ranking List and your position on that ranking list. It'll get really serious come May. Between now and then, we've got a number of competitions leading up to that that will be a little bit like today. Really, really interesting in preparation for the start of that qualification period. I look forward to seeing what happens over this period and how people, as they call it, jockey for position and set themselves up. Because once we get underway, instead of leading up to the qualification period, what we'll have with every event will be fewer and fewer events at which points can be scored in order to qualify for the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. And very, very quickly, that hourglass, if you like, the sand, will begin to run out. At the moment, we're building up towards the qualification period. It's all, you know, attractive, it's all nice. But come that qualification period, the first event that comes and goes, that's the end of that one. Bernd Achilles, the IGF refereeing director, is presenting the medals for the men in the plus 100 kilo category. The first of the bronze medals goes to Tamerlan Bashayev of Russia and to his teammate Ruslan Shakbazov. So the two Russians pick up bronze medals. Silver medal goes to Javad Majub of Iran. Just fell at the last hurdle. An attractive looking fighter today and a really, really nice guy. But the gold medal goes to a slightly laid back Alexander Gordienko of Ukraine. Well, we had gold medals from Kazakhstan and Ukraine. They had 2 gold medals apiece, and they end at the top of the table. Kazakhstan actually tops the table with 2 gold medals and 3 bronze medals. There were gold medals apiece for Japan, Kosovo, Russia, Slovenia, Brazil, Netherlands, France, Uzbekistan, Belarus, and the first ever for Ireland with Ben Fletcher. Now, the national anthem of Ukraine. Shakbazov and Bashayev were the bronze medalists. Majub picked up the silver. But Gordienko took the gold medal. And the last of the medals on this, the third and final day of competition at the Tunis Grand Prix. And that's all the live judo we've got for you for this weekend. We'll be back at the Paris Grand Slam when we bring you all the action from one of the major events on the IJF Judo World Tour. But from all the broadcast team here in Tunis, Loretta Cusack and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.
Dear friends, here are the last results and the medal table. So, team of Kazakhstan, 2 gold medals. Team of